two, they can't speak. By two, you understand their bodies are they are in a retarded state of development because of this. So no, we are at war, or we're not at war, we're being warred against. And so it matters that we care to do what's in our best interest. It matters that we care to realize that we are under no obligation, under the truth of our being, to participate with this. And so this piece that I wrote years ago, "You're in tune to the meeting of the inner circle," and this is Adama, is really exalting what we must do, and to know that it's all right to be right. It's all right to accept correction. It's all right to be in a place where we're no nonsense, no compromise, and no foolishness about who we are, whose we are, and what time it is. It's okay to be in a place and space where everything in our lives is to be reflective of our blessedness and the giftedness of being these points of the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence, that we have the responsibility as intelligences to exert and exalt a full effort in our living. We have the responsibility to repent and to sin no more as a result of our participation, willingly or unwillingly, with our own demise. We have the responsibility to do that which makes sense in our now moment. It's our time to be in a place and space where we care to be rightly aligned. It matters to us that we want to be doing what's necessary for our care, our children, our lineages. It matters that we care to matter. It matters that we care to be empowered. It matters that we are not going to sit back and act as if we're helpless, that we're hopeless, that we have no faith, that we don't trust God. We are not calling on our spiritual help. It matters that we are becoming advocates on behalf of all other beings to have the right to their lives. It matters that we are doing truly what is sensical, because it's not sensical for our family members to be participating in onslaught and warfare, and to realize how many ones participated in the wars, you understand, and then they come back and they're never the same. And so being in a place and space where you are caring to be in the light of the truth of the all that you absolutely are, it matters that you really care to be cleared, cleansed, consecrated, purified, renewed, rebirthed, regenerated, rejuvenated, revitalized, and revivified. It matters that you want to be free from anything that marginalizes the truth of who you are and compromises the quality of the life and the quality of your life. And so you're being in a place and space where you can make a difference in the world if you care. If you don't care, you won't. But if you do, you can do amazing things here. Greetings, Carly, on the air.
Hey, honey, you know how I feel about alkalinity, and I rave on that because until you're alkaline in your system, you are functioning at 29% of your capacity. And the other thing is, I just forgot it. I just had a stroke.
You should turn your radio down.
Cleansing. You need 10 colon cleanses. I'm talking about not enemas, but I mean colonics.
Right. Well,
And you know it.
a lot of people. I'm just saying, make it make sense, because we're not gonna wait to go to the dentist to brush our teeth. You know.
You can do your own 10
Right.
10-day juice cleansing fast with your own enema, coffee enema, I suggest.
And we do.
We've talked about this before, honey, but
Lost it. And so we're having to realize that the daily opening up of the elimination, because cancer, what I'm finding with my clients is that most of the ones who've been diagnosed with cancer were chronically constipated. And the constipation comes from starting your day with anything other than fresh fruit, starting your day clogging the body, starting your day with breads and pancakes and waffles and pizzas and egg McMuffins and all of this stuff. I'm just saying, your body's perfect and it's designed perfectly to heal, to regenerate, to rejuvenate. And we have all been affected by this system of oppression. So this is our right response, to do nothing to undermine ourselves. This is our right response, to do everything we possibly can to be completely cleared, cleansed, purified, renewed, rebirthed, regenerated, rejuvenated, revitalized, and revivified, so that we walk in the light of the truth of the all that we each are, as these living, loving, intelligent, potent, and immortal points of this absolute and supreme intelligence, on behalf of the lineages through whom we've come, on behalf of all of the blood that has been spilled upon this planet, on behalf of our indigenous and native families, our aboriginal ones on every continent, on behalf of all women who have been anesthetized, inebriated, intoxicated, turned into whores and prostitutes and violators, and the ones who are miseducating and religiously indoctrinating outside of the order of what it is to be woman, what it is to be mother, what it is to be grandmother, what it is to ensure the progression of our lineages. We are in a now moment where we can make the decision to do that which allows the Spirit of the living God to work through us. Because there is only one objective here, and that's to rejoice in the blessedness of being, to celebrate the gift of our lives, to be blessings unto all, and to be in a place and space where we're no nonsense. During the inauguration festivities in Washington, D.C. It's amazing how many Black Americans have seemingly forgotten just who is who in the world. It was almost as if God had called his lords and angels together for glorious song and dance, honoring the creator of all. It's amazing how many Black Americans believed that Clinton, Gore, and appointed counsel could have accomplished anything of significance for people who would not do it for themselves. It's amazing how many Black Americans in so very many significant positions throughout this country still wholeheartedly support the corporate deities of death, or otherwise death industries, namely the tobacco, alcohol, sugar, dairy, meat, and chicken industries, whose presence is all prevailing in Black communities on almost every corner, across and or down the street from every church. It's also amazing that major Black American organizations committed to the struggle and to the upliftment of humankind and or humanity have yet to initiate an all and out boycott of the death industries, pushing them from every corner by initiating an all out personal commitment to life through removal of such from their own bodies, children, and homes. It's amazing that Black Americans would rather argue that we all have to die of something someday, as if our own personal habits are no determining factor as to how, when, or where, yet complain about how bad the children are becoming or how shocked and appalled they are at the careless, unthinking, and deliberately wicked actions of so many. It's amazing that Black Americans would rather quote the scriptures of a book given to them by the same man who enslaved them than take to heart the need to cleanse their own bodies from the contaminants of a death culture. It's amazing that Black Americans would rather work on behalf of the Luciferian forces through the laissez-faire forces that aid and facilitate the annihilation of not only races of color, but every order of being and creation through legalized genocide disguised as free enterprise. It's amazing that Black Americans believe that a government based upon electorate's majority rule, consensus, popular opinion, democratic process, or games of agreement could actually exist.
It's amazing that Black Americans would rather die comfortably from war, disease, and unadulterated ignorance than live lawfully qualifying for eternity while touting teachings of the ancient saviors, prophets, and saints. It's amazing that Black Americans would continue to affirm Blackness without affirming light, wisdom, intelligence, or truth as the substance of being, or apply themselves directly to the Creator and its will as method of empowerment. In my amazement, I ask you to join me and millions of others in withdrawing emotional, mental, physical, financial, and spiritual support from the death industries as means and method of saving our youth, teaching them through our examples, and allowing us to earn our rights towards real salvation, real life, real love, and real liberty while on earth, an opportunity to qualify for continued existence after our earth residency. There is no government, religious, or educational institution authorized by the law of existence or the Creator's will to legislate or perpetuate death as popular and common activity, collective learning and education, and or path of prosperity. On behalf of all orders of being, youth, and unborn generations, I urge you to consider how amazing it would be if we each took personal responsibility in redirecting our lives, energies, and resources from consuming, producing, and promoting products that offered little or no nutritive substance whatsoever, rob us of existing minerals and vital substances, and offer us artificial this, artificial that, dyes, chemicals, stimulants, hormones, and such, creating an artificial people. The only way to take control of our communities is to take control of our personal habits, desires, thoughts, and actions. To take control by taking our lives, our monies, our resources, and our children out of the influences of those whose products and ways promote death. Boycott the death industries. It's the only way to live. We're at that point, America, where we can't keep quiet and we can't keep still. For we've been held in the silence and have been silenced over the last 500 years of our own personal rage at your inherent distortions, your foundational atrocities, and visions of a not too distant reality of Americans dying in her own streets as karmic debt for your participation in the usurpation, devastation, and bastardization of every form of life, seen and unseen, within, upon, and above the earth. We're at that point, America, where we can't keep quiet and we can't keep still, because there are now so very many voices asking the questions why, how, when, and so very few with the right answers, so very few telling the absolute truth. Though intentions are noble, wisdom, light, and the Creator's will is absent, as is evidenced in the continued allegiance to the battle of the ballot and a political system that does not in truth exist. We're at that point, America, where we can't keep quiet and we can't keep still, because the caution and fear we had years ago at the thought of what you do to the real messengers you do to us is no longer there, because there's another generation approaching adulthood where the adulterations and conscious responsibility in being, the distortions, the discrepancies, the inconsistencies, and contradictions become easier to accept, to live with, to die with, and to excuse with ruses of nonsensical, illogical, pathological, scriptorial tutelages of the God spells. We're at that point, America, where we can't keep quiet and we can't keep still, because thousands are dying daily from the poison of your plan, the madness in your hand, the stupidity of your logic, the reality of your lies, your deceit, conceit, and confusion in the lives of the living, who are in truth the dying because you fed them death in the flesh as the food, and in your meaningless words of justice and equality. Where is the justice, America? Justice for the billions of lives you've destroyed in only 220 some years, billions of lives in your excavations, your massacres, your wars, your nuclear testings, and legalized genocide disguised as free enterprise, lives in every form imaginable. The justice, America, is in your demise, your fall, your destruction, and the resurrection of the children of light. Those who can go beyond all barriers of class, race, religion, sex, nation, gender, preference, and otherwise to rise in the establishment of the kingdoms and queendoms of light in harmony with and as evidence of the establishment of eternal law, eternal order, and the eternal government. Justice is not yours to give, America, but it is that which you will receive, and that's no brag, just fact.
The following is a public affairs bulletin board announcement from your station for progressive information, WRFG 89.3 FM and WRFG.org.
1992.
Artist activist Charmaine Menifeld presents her latest Praise House installation at Southview Cemetery, the burial grounds of Atlanta's first free
put into action for us all.
Ancestors include Alonzo Herndon, John Wesley Dobbs, Janine 1906 Atlanta Race Massacre. The installation acknowledges the victims buried at the site and uplifts restoration efforts of the cemetery. For more information, the website is praisehouseproject.org.
You know, we started the program out dealing with love, and love being what we're being called to remember, that we have to have it. And some people think that, you know, it can be, you could just be loving with someone's, but not everyone. You just love your own. But love is a force, and it's something that we have to embrace in order for us to have the fullness of ourselves, to be in a place and space where we are uncompromising. And we have to consistently be forgiving. We have to learn patience. We have to learn how to dwell in the kingdom of God. They say the kingdom is within you, all right? But that's why they got so much other stuff in you, so that you cannot really have your body in a place and space where it's clean like a temple. Now, would you go to a mosque, you go to a synagogue, you go to a church where it's all kinds of worms and organisms and snakes and mold and stuff all in it? Would you go in there to worship? All right, and so I'm just saying, you wouldn't go into a physical place that's full of parasites and worms and organisms and this and that, and you know, you're sitting next to all of these ones. You can look at the men in black. Remember how they talking? All these intelligences, and they're microscopic, but they look like all of that. I'm just saying, you got a whole world of bacteria, organisms, and whatnot on our skin, this and that. We have healthy bacteria that helps benefit our immune system. But then when they got you in this antibacterial body washes, antibacterial soaps, all this hand, you know, sanitizers and whatnot, just messing up your immune system. Plus you got all this other stuff on the inside. So no, you have to love yourself, love yourselves to life. And that loving of yourselves is the oxygenation, the breathing deep. The loving of yourselves is putting yourself in a place and space where you are literally caring to forgive. Now, we have all had trespasses. We've all had some degree, and I would say we've all, but most of us have had some degree of betrayal. We've had, you know, some degrees of just being in a place where people are just downright nasty with you. You understand? I'm forgiving and all of this, and I'm saying you gotta let all of that go and begin to really dwell in the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence that is beginningless, endless, infinite, and eternal. You understand? That's why you want your body clean, because it's easier when you're cleaner to be in a place where you can release and let go of that which doesn't serve you, where you have the mindset to be in a place and space where you are no nonsense, no foolishness, about walking in the fullness of the integrity of the truth of yourself. It matters that you care to do it. Greetings, caller. You have to turn your radio down, please. Turn it down.
Sorry. To replace their acidophilus because they've had a penicillin shot or something thereof. You know? And no one knows that. They're all filled with yeast infection.
Right, all this sugar.
And you know it.
Right.
Get your acidophilus. Come on. 17 life cultures.
Thank you. And so we're in a place and space where you gotta be proactive about your clearing, your cleansing, your consecration, because you got so many, and this is the issue. The extra weight that people carry is just excess waste. That's the evidence that you're eating that which your body cannot utilize as fuel. All right, we should be fueling our system. And that's why we want to be in a place where we are cleansing daily. And I'm recommending the enemas daily, and some people never had enemas. You understand? Now, the Gerson therapy was doing the coffee enemas for the cancer. I don't necessarily recommend doing coffee enemas all the time, but the clay is going to work for you because the clay is the natural detoxifier for pulling. It has a different magnetism because the clay is found deep within the earth. What makes fruit our ideal fuel is because the roots of the fruit trees go much further deeper into the earth than the roots of your spinach and arugula and all of the vegetation and things that we think that we're eating that are so good for us. Fruit is our ideal fuel in addition to our herbs. Most people are not taking the herbs. They got you in a place where you're scared of the herbs. Now you're not scared of the pharmaceuticals. You're not scared of the high blood pressure meds that's ruining your kidneys. You're not scared of the marijuana, the acid trips. You weren't scared of a lot of things, but you're scared of the herbs. That's a trick. We're moving forward with our night. And I am so grateful for all of you all who tune in from wherever you are. And I'm wanting you to realize that the earth is going to be here. We will not always be here. But while we're here, we should be honoring all of life. While we're here, we have to learn how to walk reverently and respectfully. While we're here, we're having to dwell in the reality of the kingdom of God. Because otherwise, these nations, these rogue nations, where they are warring against the indigenous and the native people of the places and think that they have the right to do it, you don't have the right to be wrong. You don't have the right to be killing. And then to misappropriate all of the resources and funds, funding war and the machinery and this and that. And I'm just saying, it's like, why would you want to think that your greatness is based upon how many people you can kill and the threat that you are to the planet? It's insanity. So the reality of it is that the light has the right to triumph. And it will, because the light is the only sovereignty possible over all of the illness and what we're seeing that is operating at a global level through the governments of men is the sickness and the insanity that comes from distorted, poisoned bloodlines. Because you're dealing with generations of flesh eaters, alcohol drinkers, and all of this, and they have made the way that they do things the way that people do it all over the world, and it's not serving anybody to any great degree where they can be in the fullness of the truth of their own divinity. And so, as divinity is the truth of all of existence itself, I encourage you to reclaim the divinity of your being. To realize that when you're on that earth, when you're outside, you are literally in the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence. When you're in the house, when you're in the building, wherever you are in the presence of this absolute and supreme intelligence. It fills all spaces. It's all pervasive. It cannot be separated out. We are in this, what the quantum physicist says, we're in the quantum field. You understand? We are in the realm of eternity everywhere that we are. And we've come into this realm through the sacred fluid of our mother's womb, sparked by the sacred fluid of our fathers. And now is our time to remember the sacredness and the divinity of existence itself. Your clearing, your cleansing, your consecration is the way and the path to becoming the more of the all that you are as the personification of God, or what other ones would refer to as the spirit of the living Christ in the now moment that people are expecting the second coming of Christ. This is it. We have a populace of people who do not kill themselves, who cleanse themselves, who exalt a full life's urge, who love being, who are being loving, who are being forgiving, who are embracing the reality of the divinity, the sanctity of all there is as existence itself. We are in this now moment that is ours for the rising. We are in this now moment where we had the opportunity to gain support from the exalted spirit world. And so being in a place and space where it matters to you, that you matter to life, to serve life, to repent from having participated in undermining yourselves, and to know that you have support. And your number for life support is 678-760-9299. To know that you can't be half-hearted about yourself. You can't be in a place where you're indecisive about whether you really want to live or not. You understand? Because if you're not deciding that you want to live, you're making a decision that you don't want to live, particularly if you're waking up and having turkey bacon and fake bacon and just eggs and you eating other people's babies and all of this. So I'm just saying, after a while, everybody gets exactly what they deserve. So there's no blame at this particular point because you're knowing that this is an agenda, and it's an agenda that has been to the detriment of indigenous, native, and aboriginal people. But we're raising up. And Africa countries really don't need France. France is still sucking off the breast of Haiti. You understand? I mean, these European countries, it's like they so full of themselves and they so full of feces that it's like, why are we participating with this? So I'm just saying, you have options. You do not have to participate in your own demise. It's a choice now. And so choose life. Choose to walk in the integrity of the all that you are. Choose to be a part of the resurrection. Choose to be in a place and space where you are caring to be cleared, cleansed, consecrated, purified, renewed, rebirthed, regenerated, rejuvenated, revitalized, and revivified. Consciously care to be in a place and space where you are a testament and can give a living testimonial of the glory, the victory, and the triumph of absolute love, light, wisdom, truth, peace, poise, power, potency, integrity, high ethic, morality, sensibility. And we're being reinstated with the real estate of the sovereignty of being these points of the presence of God. I love you with the perfect love. I look forward to hearing from you at your convenience and care to have you know that you can do anything you care to do, but you cannot be a detriment to yourself and survive. Exert a full effort, a full love, a full light, full forgiveness, and let's rise. I love you. Enjoy your night.
Living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find out why city you, so we can walk it out. Mountain, we can walk it out, and mountain. And I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, afraid, I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000.
promises and quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Mountains, bring it to its feet. Mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. All we need is hope, and for that we have each other, and for that we have each other. And we will rise, we will rise, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up. I like the waves. We'll rise up in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
Every day is a new opportunity. All praise. Power of prayer and power of choice. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.